What's up, and welcome to the No Bullshit Manifestation Show. I'm your host, Kat Kozad, manifestation expert, money mindset and fulfillment coach, and multiple six-figure entrepreneur. Come sit with me while I spill the real tea on what it's like to practice using intentional manifestation, demystify all of the woo-woo and confusing bullshit that comes along with creating the life of your dreams, and give you a realistic view of what it's like to be on a personal, spiritual, and professional growth journey. The goal of this podcast is to support and guide you towards manifesting all of your dreams, shed light on the things that people are too scared to talk about, and encourage you to become the person who gets to have it all, be it all, and do it all. I am so happy you are here. Let's fucking do this thing. What's up, loves? Welcome back to another episode of the No Bullshit Manifestation Show. As this podcast is being released, I'm actually going to be in Puerto Rico on vacation, and I'm so fucking excited for that because it has been, in complete honesty and complete transparency, a challenging past couple of months, and that really ties into what we're going to be talking about on today's episode of the No Bullshit Manifestation Show, which is the chaos before the Uplevel. And I know that so many people are experiencing this recently, and it is going to be so nice to just take a step away and be in a completely different environment, be on vacation, be with my best girlfriends. It is my childhood best friend's bachelorette party, and we are going down to Puerto Rico and just going to have such an incredible week. So you'll see that on my Instagram story if you follow me on Instagram. But diving into today's podcast topic, just like I was saying, the chaos before the Uplevel. This is something that literally a majority of the people in my life are experiencing right now, and the more that I talk to people, the more that I realize this is a collective thing that is going on right now. So I wanted to hit on it and really help everybody create this level of clarity and understanding of what it means to have this chaos before an Uplevel, and what it means for your manifestation, what it means for you, and how to really navigate this time that feels challenging, because majority of the teachings of manifestation have a lot of misconception around you want to be happy all the time, you want to be high vibe all the time, you want to think happy thoughts, all of this bullshit. And when chaos is ensuing, it's really fucking challenging to be in that quote unquote happy place all the time. And you also don't have to. And this is hands down one of the most uncomfortable parts of the manifestation process, but also one of the biggest indicators that all of your manifestations are on their way to you. So what do I mean by the chaos before the Uplevel? What I mean by the chaos before the Uplevel is when it just feels like absolutely nothing in your life is going right. It feels like shit is falling apart. You're ending relationships, whether that be romantic or friendships, ending things at work, either getting fired or leaving a job, or something happening that doesn't feel great. Feeling just more chaos inside of yourself, really coming to new awarenesses that need to be worked through and feel uncomfortable. Just a whole bunch of shit, essentially. Things are crumbling, things are falling away, things feel really fucking challenging. The reason that happens is because when we are calling in bigger, better, more abundant things into our lives, we're manifesting this life that we've always dreamed of. We're calling in more abundance, more money, more freedom, more connection, more love, more of all of these things that we want. We can't manifest those things if we don't have space for them. And when we are wanting to step into greater realities than what we have right now, we have to create that space in order to fully receive them. And majority of the time, most of us aren't willing to do the work to clear out that space. Or we do the work to clear out that space, but like there's still more space that needs to be created in order for us to actually receive our manifestations, receive this more that I am talking about. And when there is not enough space for you to receive those things, if there's things that aren't in alignment with you receiving that thing, things that you've been holding on to that don't support your highest good or the highest good of all, then the universe is going to come in and help you shake shit up so that you can actually create that space. And this is where it feels super fucking uncomfortable, because it's like things that you wouldn't have chosen to end or to shake up or to have crumble or to face with this uncomfortable resistance and energy. It's like, it's the things that must move, must go, must shift in order for you to create this space inside of yourself. And so like, this is why it happens, because we energetically cannot take on more if there is not room for more. And this is one of the biggest like misconceptions that I see with a lot of the women that I work with, is like they want to manifest more, and then like when their manifestations aren't showing up, they're super frustrated and they're like, what the fuck? Like, I'm doing the work, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, nothing else is showing up. But then it's like we look at all of these attachments to things in our past and in our present that aren't serving us, and we aren't willing to let them go. Or like I said, maybe we are willing to let some of them go, but there's still pieces that aren't in support of our highest good. And a lot of the times, like, we don't know what those things are, because we've created some sort of emotional attachment to them. We've created some sort of like association to why we need that thing in our lives. And the universe knows best. The universe is this all-knowing, all-loving power, and it knows better than we do. So when the relationship ends, or the friendship ends, or the job ends, or whatever it is that is creating this sense of chaos in your life, when that happens, it's because the universe knows that there's something greater for you. It's trying to deliver something greater to you, but it has to crumble in order for us to be able to build a new foundation inside of ourselves to actually support what is coming in and what is coming through for us, and what is going to allow us to have this life of more. So the way that I want you to think about this is like, if you were to call in all of these manifestations without moving these other things out, without creating the space for it, you have a really rocky foundation. It's like trying to build a house on a foundation that is like completely uneven. There's spiky things sticking out. There's rocks. There's just like a shit ton of stuff that is preventing you from having that house land on that surface and be fully secure. And so what the chaos before the up level is like the universe coming in, coming through, shaking shit up in your life so that those pieces can fall away. Those pieces can be removed. Also, in this is like you may be required to do part of the moving of these things out, and recognizing like what are the things that are not serving you, and being honest with yourself and allowing yourself to move through the tension and the resistance of letting it go, so that you can essentially let the crumbling happen and start to rebuild a foundation that is actually going to support you, that is actually going to serve you, that is actually going to be strong enough to hold the new things that you're calling into your life. And like I've been saying, create that space so that you can build this house on top of it. You have this rock solid foundation, and like you can build your life on top of that foundation. And with all of this, it's so easy to like go into the victim mentality or the past programming of different limiting beliefs that you've been conditioned to learn, and like think that things aren't working out in your favor. Think that like all of this shit is falling apart, your life is going to shit, whatnot. Speaking from personal experience here, so if you felt that way, do not worry. And being in this position of like, oh my God, like everything that I've worked for, like everything that I've done is all falling to shit. And like, what do I have to show for it? And the reality is like, we either get what we want or something greater. And when we don't get what we want, that means that there's something greater for us. But oftentimes, in order for us to receive what is greater, we have to learn the different lessons that we need to evolve and step into this higher, greater version of ourselves who allows the crumbling to happen with this understanding of the fact that you can elevate and you can surrender to this process. You can lean into faith and trust in the fact that it is all working out in your favor and that ultimately it is going to lead you closer to everything that you're wanting to manifest. And with this, so personal experience, personal story of the first time I experienced like the initial crumbling in my life when I first started my intentional manifestation journey. I was living in Boise, Idaho. I had moved up there after leaving everything behind in Colorado because I wanted a fresh start and I wanted to restart my life, restart in a different city, have a completely different experience than I had because I was so unhappy with like myself and my circumstances in Colorado. And I didn't know that my issues were going to follow me. LOL, who would have thunk it? That like you just can't leave your issues behind and that they are going to follow you. And so I get up to Boise and I'm in a completely different environment. I don't have any friends. I don't have anybody close to me that I can like connect with. And I don't have like my old distractions that I used to have. And it was so uncomfortable for me. And within that, everything started to crumble. The job that I went there for started to completely fall apart in ways that like were so challenging. The one and only relationship that I did have up there was completely crumbling and falling apart. My relationship to myself was at like an all-time low. My finances were at an all-time low. Like literally everything in my life was crumbling. And in those moments, I definitely did attach at the very beginning of it to like, oh my God, my life is going to shit. Like, I don't know if I'll ever be happy again. I don't know if I can like make it through this. I don't know if I want to make it through this. And like truly allowed myself to like attach to the crumbling and was in this really like fucked up mental place because of it, because I was trying to like keep everything together. I was trying to hold on to those pieces that were crumbling and like fix those pieces that were crumbling so that I could still have something, when in reality, like the universe was trying to push me. The universe was trying to shake me up so that I would be willing to let go and surrender to the process of the crumbling and rebuild this life that I now have after that crumbling took place. And another thing that I want you to picture is like, okay, so think about it like this. When the crumbling is happening and all of this shit is going off the walls in your life, it feels like nothing's going right. All of these different things are happening. When you attach to them and you try to control them and you're trying to make them come back together or stay a certain way or fix things or whatever it is so that like your life doesn't feel so chaotic, it's essentially like you're grasping onto it. You have your fists completely closed tight, grasping onto it, and you're allowing the universe to just like throw you around because you won't let go and you won't surrender to the process. But as soon as you let go, you open your hands, you release everything that you're trying to hold on to, everything that you're trying to control, and you really allow yourself to like surrender to the process and step into this energy of like, I don't know what it's going to look like on the other side of this, but I trust that best case scenario can be my inevitable. I trust that this is happening for a reason, that everything in my life is guiding me to exactly where I'm supposed to be. Then you finally open your hands and you open your hands up to receiving, because we can't catch anything when our hands are closed. When you have your fists closed tight, you can't catch shit. But when you release, when you let go, when you open your hands up, you're finally in this position of being able to receive, to catch whatever it is that the universe is trying to throw your way, because that's ultimately what happens when you allow yourself to surrender to this process. So what you can do during this time to accelerate this process and to receive your manifestations on the other side of it is surrender. And know that in this state of surrender, there's like a ton of misconception around the word surrender. Surrender doesn't mean like roll over, give up, say fuck it, say that it's not going to work and just like quit. No, surrender means like accept what is here and now. Radical acceptance for what is here, what is now, as opposed to trying to fight it, trying to resist it, trying to move further away from it, trying to escape from it. It's like fully being in this place of like radical acceptance of like, okay, this is actually what I'm experiencing right now. Does it feel good? No. But is that okay? Yeah, absolutely. That's okay. It's okay to not feel good. It's okay to have things in your life fall apart. It's so okay. And when you can come to this place of like radical acceptance in it, you're surrendering to the circumstance. You're no longer trying to fight it. And that's when the universe can actually start to deliver that abundance that you've been calling into your life. And you can be in this position of, like I was saying, stepping even further into your faith and trust in the fact that everything is working out in your favor, even and especially when it doesn't feel like it. That's like one of the biggest lessons I've learned in my life. And I'm so fucking grateful for the fact that I have learned this lesson, is like everything is always working out for you, even and especially when it doesn't feel like it. When it feels like everything is falling apart, it is. It's truly just the universe rearranging things so that things can be even better for you. And just like I was saying at the very beginning of this podcast episode, it's like I've just been through another season of this in my life where different bits and pieces, different bits of my identity especially have had to crumble and have had to be released in order for me to go to the next level. And like in just the past like week, honestly, it feels like the fucking floodgates of abundance have opened in my life after about like 2.5, 3 months of like, oh man, chaos and crumbling and like mini deaths and rebirthing and all of the different things. And in that process, it's like, it's super fucking challenging. And I like to keep it 100 here on the No Bullshit Manifestation Show. I know that all of you know that if you listen to the podcast. It's like, I'm 2.5 years into my manifestation journey, and like these things happen. I still go through periods of crumbling, because when we continue to want bigger, better, and more abundant things in our lives, we have to give up good to have great. And we have to give up great to have incredible. And we have to give up incredible to have astounding. And we have to give up these different levels in order to move to the next. And it's a lot easier to try and hold on to the old and grasp onto that old life than it is to continue to rise and continue to elevate. But there's a reason that you're on this journey. There's a reason that you're on this path. And it's because you were made for those things that you are wanting to call into your reality. And if it was easy, fucking everybody would be doing it, which like also would be great. But the reality is like, not everybody has their dream life. Majority of people don't have their dream lives because they're not willing to continue to give up and create space from the past level to go to the next one and to be an even greater version of themselves and have an even greater life. But I know if you listen to this podcast and if you're still here with me on this episode, you're not one of those people. and you do want it. You want to have it all. You want to be it all. You want to do it all. Whatever that means for you, whatever that means for your life and what you're creating for yourself. So know that this is part of the journey, and there's absolutely nothing fucking wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with the path that you're on. There's nothing wrong. That's like another huge misconception when it comes to manifestation is like, if things aren't easy, if they aren't effortless, if they aren't flowy, then like there's a tendency in the spiritual community to just be like, oh, it's out of alignment with my truth, or oh, it's like out of alignment and I'm not supposed to have it, blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, that's not fucking true. When it's easy, it's most likely coming from a place of your ego. You're just satisfying your ego, as opposed to stepping into and becoming the highest and greatest version of yourself. That shit's not easy, but it's going to allow you to have a life wilder than your wildest dreams. So know that and keep that close to you as you are in a season of chaos before your up level. It's like the up level will come, and there's nothing wrong with this season of chaos. It's just a season. And like all seasons, they are temporary. They will pass. They will go. So allow yourself to surrender to it. Allow yourself to really tap into and know and learn and embrace the highest and greatest version of yourself throughout it, because that's what's going to continue to allow you to move through it and get to the next level. And that's what I have for you on this episode. You fucking got this, babe. You got this. You've overcome every single bad day in your life thus far, and any time of chaos, it's not going to be different. You are able to overcome literally everything in your life, and all of the abundance that waits for you on the other side of it is so, so juicy. So that's what I got for you. I hope that this podcast episode was helpful for you. If you liked this podcast episode, if it resonated with you, please take a screenshot and share it on your Instagram story. Let other people know that this episode has helped you, and really help me spread this word of this podcast and how we can help other people continue to rise to the next level. Because as you already know from me, I believe the more good, kind-hearted people in the world who are on journeys like this, that are being able to transcend and go to greater levels inside of themselves, the greater the world gets to be. So yeah, if you like this episode, take a screenshot, share it on your Instagram, share it with your friends, whatever way you want to do it. And I will chat with you on the next episode. Oh my gosh, thank you for listening to today's episode. I am so grateful to have these no bullshit talks with you. If you enjoyed today's episode or the podcast as a whole, please spread the love by leaving me a review on iTunes or sharing the podcast with others. This is how I will be able to spread more of these good vibes and be able to make more of an impact on the lives of others. And if you're not already part of all of the goodness and communities that I have to offer, check out the show notes. I have links to the different ways that I can support you on your manifestation journey and help you live a life full of more money, fulfillment, and freedom. But that is all for now. So big love and hugs, and I will chat with you soon, babe.